What is up, guys? I'm IKEA31 here. Part 2 of Tampa 2. About time. I gotta stop slacking and get cracking. I got too many things that I'm trying to do at once. Gotta focus and get out what needs to be gotten out. But here we go. What I'm gonna do in this one is go over all these variations here. It's important to know, no matter who you're using, what all of these variations of cover 2 are doing, so that you're calling the right thing and you understand who's doing what and why, so that you're, one, not confused, and two, you know what to call in what situation and what adjustments to make. Now, let's start with the garden variety Tampa 2, and I picked, the Panthers because I wanted to show, I don't know, have good outside, not good outside, but good coverage backers on the field. We'll go up against a normal, gun-wise slot and just pick jet slot post for now, I guess. Doesn't really matter. So here's your garden variety Tampa 2. I'm in a 4-3 here, but, whether you're in nickel, dime, quarter, what have you, this is how the route distribution of a Tampa 2 is going to be between the linebackers or slot defenders, the safeties, and the corners. Now, as far as base pass defense is concerned, the corners here, they're going to play a cloud flat, which basically means in this game is that they're going to obstruct the release of the corners, and they actually try to funnel them inside finally. I've been harping on that for the past 2 or 3 years, and they finally funnel the outside receiver inside, which is very important. You want to obstruct an outside release, because the first responsibility of a Tampa 2 corner is to shrink the window for that sideline streak, flag, or out route. Cover 2 is not primarily a flat defense. Get that out of your brain. Madden gamers for years have been conditioned to think that cover 2 is designed to stop the flats. It is a deep sideline, two flat coverage on the outside with the corners. They choke off or try to choke off and squeeze the window on the flag and the streak route to make life a little bit easier on their safeties, and then they rally to anything thrown to the flat. So that's your cloud flat here. You have your vertical hook. They're going to drop off and match vertical seams. Again, rally to anything thrown underneath. In this game, I think they tend to drift a little bit too far once it's clear that there's no vertical threat, and that's why you have Dragorama. And that's why when I'm playing Mutt or Draft Champions, I'm gravitating towards using hook zone defenders as opposed to deep safety. I can play deep safety very well, but people love to create 5 million hot routes to bork the underneath zone coverage, and I find it, a necessity to do so until I get them in a really long yardage situation. Then I can go back to playing my deep safety. But anywho, those are your vertical hooks. And your mid read here, I have Keekly. He is going to be your deep run through. Tampa 2 is basically a 3 deep coverage. In past years, I had to hot route this mid read to a blue zone to get that. But this year, that's not something that you really have to do. A guy like Luke Kuechly is going to play that mid read very well. And of course, you had your 2 deep safeties. So in motion, I'm going to have 2 controllers here. We can take a look at the route distribution here. Outside corners. Praise Jesus, hallelujah. They're jamming and redirecting inside. It's a weird route. Was that a little stutter go? We could stand to have him get his hands on him, but I'll live with that. Vertical hook. And Keekly begins to go to his deep middle. He opens up to the opposite side of this vertical hook here. Thomas Davis runs right with this post route. The beauty of having really good zone coverage backers with good play record in zone coverage. Thomas Davis and Keekly do this kind of stuff all the time in this game. They're so good. Now, I'm sure you're saying, well, what if there's a vertical on the other side? Shouldn't he be running deep middle? Well, let's take a look-see at that. This is our lovely 4 verts with 2x2. Redirect inside and choke off the corner. Redirect inside, sink back, choke off. Vertical release, he drops back, carries him off and passes him off to Luke. Keeps on going. And Luke picks up this seamer. And Thomas Davis matches this seamer. Again, I'm in base 4-3, so just ignore the fact that I have Teddy Ginn out there. Of course, he's going to blow by him eventually. I just want to show the route distribution. And, get you guys to, see the general principle being played out. It's match personnel this time. Tampa 2. Gun tray open. 4 verts. You see this time, the slot corner to your right. He's got the vertical hook. Thomas Davis has the other vertical hook. Mid-read is Luke. We snap the ball. Luke is at number 3. Now, what I don't really love here, and this is the one spot that requires some user control, I think, or maybe spotlighting. What I like to do against a trips formation is spotlight this guy, because this dude, he'll redirect him outside, which is great, but I don't think he carries far enough before coming down on this. I don't want to see him rally on that until the ball is thrown. Keep him in this motion here. Now, it's a good enough job to obstruct that. That's somebody's first read. But if the rush doesn't get there, that can eventually get home, and you have to rely on the safety breaking on it. So what I like to do, I like to spotlight this guy. And that will keep this guy riding him further down the field. And everything else is as we've seen before. He jams, redirects, chokes back. Jam, redirect, same thing. Everything else looks good. I can do without Mr. Davis standing around. But other than this little hole here, you can always use that or spotlight, and that'll deal with that. And, I'll play little games up front. I'll do a cover 2 drop. I'll drop the, whatever it is, the nose tackle in the set into a hook at times. This is really good on those 3rd and 4th and shorts, 3rd and 5, 4th and 5, 3rd and 6, or 4th and 6 or so. When you know a crosser is coming, drop that guy in there, or you could also spy him. You can put him in man against a back for screen. I'll occasionally play games with this guy or maybe even a defensive end. If I have a guy who's really athletic, I'll drop him into maybe man coverage against a tight end on a if I think he's going to run a short route. You know, do a bunch of disguises. Let's reset the play again. Like if I do a cover two drop here, that puts him into a hook as well. Or, you know, I can do things like put a corner in man coverage. Like I can bracket, Olsen and put a defensive end into a hook. You see how what that looks like in motion. Or I can, play man coverage on the solo side and leave everything else zoned. Or maybe you can even do a little invert. You can drop the solo side corner into a deep blue and the safety into a flat zone. Like so. So you can do all kinds of disguise and trap coverages with, one or two button clicks. It beats last year by a mile when, I had to perform plastic surgery to keep things together. So I'll take having to do one adjustment, like say, I don't know, spotlighting Gin to obstruct that a little bit further. Like you see how much further he dropped back with the spotlight? So, just one little adjustment makes this a whole heck of a lot better on that number two receiver. Follows him a lot further. Now, against the run, how you do between the tackles in a Tampa 2 is going to be dependent on the strength of your front. Cover 2 in general is pretty strong or pretty good against off tackle runs because your corners are your forced defenders. And then it's a matter of your linebackers playing gaps and flowing to the ball and how good your front four is. Cover 2 sink. Cover 2 sink. You have soft squat. Everything else is the same. Vertical hook, mid read, vertical hook. Now, what's the difference between the soft squat and the flat? The soft squat is basically, think of it as the cover two sink of Madden 15, where the corners are bailing out of there. Now, what's nice about this is that depending on what the route combinations are, those corners will sometimes match patterns across the field. I've seen corners in soft squat, follow a crosser all the way across the field when there's no other threat coming either at him from the backside or there's no other threat to his side in the formation, which is really nice. And of course, against verticals, he's going to bail out of there and he's going to follow him all the way down at a much further depth than he would when he's playing a cloud flat, where he's jamming and redirecting, going back to a depth to cut off the initial read for the flag or corner, and then rallying back. He's bailing out of there like a cover three almost. This I like on anything longer than third and fourth and 10. Tampa 2 I'll play up to, third and 10. I prefer cover 2 sink on down distance beyond that. for cover two, sink also. Well, it kind of depends on how I want to play smash. You got to watch out for smash. Basically, I force someone to take the hitch. If they don't take the hitch, they want to force the corner, then they're going to get cover two sink all day long. If they take the hitch, then I'm going to mix in my cover two hard flats and my Tampa twos. Tampa two will disrupt the smash read, I think, the best because the corner will play games out there. The better he is, he'll make the read muddy. So against smash, I'd go Tampa two if the person you're playing is good at reading it. If someone is getting greedy with the corner, I'd go cover two sink until they show you they're going to take the hitch. So you see they're not looking to jam and redirect. They open up to the outside, which I really like. Again, cut off the outside release. I wish cover three was done that well, but I digress. But I like how they open up to the outside there. That's great. And they're going to, ride them all the way down the field. Here's smash versus cover two sink. They'll kind of squat in between before they declare. So you just got to watch for whether they're coming down hard or whether they're kind of playing halfway and muddying up the read before making a decision. But don't force it. And if you're playing it, I prefer to play it. The way I prefer to play it is I try to make my opponent show me that they're not going to force the corner. Just cover two sink versus a post and a dig. Now watch the corner. On the opposite side. See the corner on the opposite side follow that dig all the way across the field? He begins to follow the post, but comes off when he sees the crosser because Luke is squatting right here. So there's really no need for him to carry him any further. Now the beauty of this is that this corner recognizes that too. And he follows the dig all the way across the field. Which is gorgeous. I love that. Because Luke is squatting here to play post, this corner knows that he has to follow the square in. And Luke is kind of in between to play both. And if you're using the guy, you can kind of squat on either one. Cover two hard flats, pretty self-explanatory. This is your serial flat spammer defense. It's also good against shallow cross because those corners are going to really bite down on those crossing routes. Let's go with, I don't know. Let's go with mesh. See the corners are squatting. You see here the corners are squatting all the way. Hard flat. If he throws it, more than likely going to lead him right into him. Same thing here. What I'd like to see is Luke, when he realizes that he has no deep middle, is come down and crack on these shallow crosses. Come down a little quicker. Cover two carry. Cover two carry. The big difference here, you see how the middle linebacker, he doesn't have a deep middle run through. He has a 3-receiver side hook. This is your old school classic cover two. I like this inside the red zone from the 20 in. I like this against slants. I like this against Texas concepts where the back is coming out of the backfield on an angle route. I like this against shallow cross as well. To really bite down underneath, do the underneath coverage audible, and you have hard flat with that three receiver hook. The middle linebacker is not going to drop back nearly as far as he would with a mid read. See how he's just squatting there in the middle? That's the slant buster. That's a slant and shallow cross buster, in addition to the hard flat. When you combine that with hard flat, you really have something that can really cause problems or obstruct slants and shallow crossers. Against verticals, it's not going to be as effective. Let's find a four verts here. Four verts. Your vertical hooks are going to go. The backer's going to squat. So just keep that in mind when you're calling cover 2 carry. The vertical hooks will go. The middle run through is not going to be a middle run through. It's going to be a three receiver side hook, and he's not going to drop back as deep. If he's against a trip formation, he'll match the three receiver hook, the three receiver side receiver, if he's breaking vertical or across the field. Let's go to a trips formation. I don't know, let's run curls. And we'll go... Okay, so three receiver hook, vertical hooks in the cloud flat. You'll match that up to a certain point. He's not going to match them all the way, but he'll match them up to a certain depth. I would say 15 yards downfield is a good bet. If number 3 breaks out, he then should be looking for work back inside. So number 3, Olsen here, is going to be breaking out to the flat. He should be on the alert backside for something coming either from Benjamin or out of the backfield. See how he breaks back once he sees that the number 3 receiver is going out? So if you are using that guy, you got to be conscious of that. You got to know your assignment, what everybody else is doing. Luke sees Olsen going to the flat, so now that tells him, okay, something's got to be coming from the other side. I'm going to go back and play back underneath because he's no longer number 3. Number 3 is now coming from either the backfield or the opposite side of the formation potentially. So he's looking back, under, and there you go. Now keep in mind, this is Luke. Luke has zone coverage and play rec off the charts. You're a middle linebacker. May not do that as well. As a matter of fact, he probably isn't. I mean, awareness 98. Play rec 98. Zone coverage 89. So he's, the creme de la creme. No one's going to do it better than him. Unless you're in Mutt and you get a Maniac card, which is going to probably be available come, Christmas or so. So, cover 2 carry. Just keep that in mind. I like it from the 20-yard line in. It's not bad against flood. It's not bad against smash as far as the middle of the field is concerned. Dicey against 4 verts from a trip set. And yeah, that's how I played as far as that's concerned. I really love Tampa 2 this year. When you combine the pass rush and all of these zone variations, and that's not including, the stuff that I, showed you in the Tampa 2 example where, you can mix in your spies, your hot routes, your combo coverages with just a couple of button clicks. Let's go over cover two Buster. Cover two Buster is disappointing. I'll show you why. I don't use it nearly as much as I thought I would, because once I tried it, I saw that there could be some really bad problems. Let's run a basic shallow cross. So we have a shallow cross here, and cover two Buster. It's half two men under, half cover two. Man to man on the left side here in this case. If it's a trips formation, the game does a good job of auto flipping so that the trip side is not overwhelmed. It bounces out, the man coverage and the zone coverage. You have your mid read and your vertical hook. Let's see what happens. And let's see if you can spot the problem that I have with this. And I've talked to AW about this, but we just have a difference of opinion. He does not see it my way. I don't see it his. What can you do? See, that actually was better than I thought it was going to be. Partly because it's, Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. But what tends to happen now, in my opinion, these two defenders here need to be pattern matching. They need to be pattern reading and reading route distribution. They know they have man coverage on the left. So once this guy clears Luke's zone, I want Thomas Davis to be on the alert for under as opposed to just drifting into his mid read. I prefer him to be in a three receiver hook instead of this. Now this is actually pretty good because again, Luke and Davis's play rec and zone coverage are so high. They're going to, close on that better than most of the backers in this game. But against anybody else, this crosser can run for days because this backer is usually just going to keep on drifting back or just squat around here. These two should be, in my opinion, in a dynamic pattern matching situation where, if he gets passed off, the other linebacker needs to be on the alert for the under. And again, he does a good job because, he does a decent job, I should say, because, he's Thomas Davis and your linebacker isn't. And that's really how I play it. When you mix in everything, you can do some good things. What I'll do from here, I'll show you. What I'll do from here is, in the same video, I'll walk you through every defensive snap of a recent Madden Ultimate Team game, and you can see what I'm calling. I'll go through what I'm calling and why I'm calling it. And then in part 3, we'll go over these other coverages and these zone blitzes and man blitzes and all that good stuff. We'll go over double buzz, cover 6 and cloud, and cover 4. When to use cover 4, when not to. This buzz match here, this buzz press, and these zone blitzes. So, on to some game footage. Alrighty, this is regular mutt. Just cycling through my defense here so you guys can see. Really, it's pretty much highlighted by, you see that 92 overall Von Miller. I have him drop the defensive end along with that 89 Brian Orakpo. I have Earl Thomas and Calvin Pryor, along with, who do I have at backer? I have Brandon Marshall, I have KJ Wright and Anthony Barr, the base versions. And the corners are position hero Malcolm Butler and Delvin Breaux. They have 91 and 90 zone coverage. Man coverage are not that great. Actually, my slot guys, Jonathan Joseph and Verrett, have better man coverage than they do. So I can live with the zone coverage here. And you see I'm squatting here on the linebacker. I usually play, I've been playing more deep safety than linebacker, but I want to try my hand at linebacker for a little bit and just kind of do something different. And defensive line, I also have Ndamukong Suh, the base elite, along with position hero Brandon Logan. And when I go for defensive ends, in my dime I go for defensive ends. That brings in Ezekiel Ansah and Justin Houston, who I have at the backup end spots. That puts them at defensive tackle. So that gives me more speed. It takes Sue out of the game, but between the base Ansah and the base elite Justin Houston, I don't lose anything as far as pass rush is concerned. I think the base Ezekiel Ansah has a 91 finesse move, and the base elite, excuse me, the base elite Justin Houston has a 90 something power move, a 90 or 91. So I'm not going to lose much. I gain more speed, obviously, with those guys than I would with the defensive tackles. So I'm just kind of getting a feel for what he likes to do. This dime 326 cover 2 drop has a built-in spy, so you don't have to spy anyone. And here I make the cardinal sin of fouling an underneath crosser, which leads to the deeper middle route, obviously, from that four verse where you're hot routing guys to slants and square ends to get open. So don't do that. Don't follow intermediate crossers. You got to stay disciplined as far as that's concerned and not take the bait. So now I have to tighten up in the end zone. And what I did this game, when I notice that someone has a guy like Mike Evans in the slot, I just spotlight him every play because I know that's where he's going to be looking. He's going to want to get those catch in traffic and spec catches over the middle before he goes outside. So I spotlight him every single play. And he's playing pretty much exclusively half the gun here. Hard flat. If you threw that a little bit later, that might get picked off, so he gets nothing there. So 3rd and 9. I was in cover 6, and I got to put it down to a hard flat. So 3rd and 9. I put in KJ Wright. He's a little bit faster than the base elite Brandon Marshall. I'm either in cover 6 or I'm in cover 3 cloud here, I think. And I'm in hard flat again. I like to play hard flat inside the red zone, and I'm just trying to obstruct his read on those crossers, and by the time he figures out where he wants to go, there's Von Miller for the sack. So 4th and 14, he's going to take the 3 points. So I score. He is now back on offense. This is double buzz. I leave it on default, and I'm going to control a hook zone defender. I'm going to look for mesh or a crosser. They almost get to him, and he has to dump it off. See how fast those guys in that dime package are getting there? Between Ansah, Hali, not Tampa Hali, Houston, Von Miller, and Arakpo, they got in there pretty damn fast. That's just a 4-man rush. I haven't blitzed yet at all. This is cover 3 buzz. I trust the safeties and the deep defender to close. Again, I had him spotlit. 2nd and long. I got Earl Thomas back there, so hopefully between spotlighting and Earl Thomas and Calvin Pryor having pretty good zone coverage rating. It's overrated Calvin Pryor big time as far as his coverage goes. They can close on there and not give me a heart attack. That's my one complaint as far as the deep zone coverage is I want more closing speed, aggression, and better route recognition from those deep zone defenders. But other than that, I'm in pretty good shape. You see, what's his name? Justin Houston almost got him for a sack there. 3rd and 10 again. I'm in man this time. And he converts there. Again, those outside position hero corners, they're not great at man coverage. 90 and 91 zone, but We're talking low to mid 80s in man coverage. Mid 80s man coverage.
Now Smith got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And this time he's
He's got Terrence Williams back there, so he's dinking and dunking down the field right now. I go to Tampa 2. Going to leave it at default. And what I like to do as well in passing situations, I drop a defensive lineman into a hook. Nope, that was a four-man rush. But what I like to do in passing situations is I'll spread the line and crash them out. That gets you better one-on-one opportunities for the interior guys, which will free them up better and also give more of an edge rush, make it harder to go outside for the defensive ends. Good call here by him. So he converts that. That's that cover 2 drop out of the $326. It's got a built-in spy, so I don't have to hot route anybody to a spy. In a four-man defensive line, if I want to do a cover 2 drop, I'd usually hot route a defensive lineman into a hook or spy. There he pops a run in there. I'm willing to concede that. He's in hurry-up mode. I'm going to pinch to the line that time. Man coverage. The man coverage holds. There comes Vaughn. He does a smart thing and throws it away. So I'm just doing base stuff here. 2 men under, Tampa 2, cover 2 sink, cover 3 cloud, and cover 6. Here's cloud again. Almost get him here, and he freaks out. Lucky he wasn't picked. So the defensive line is making things happen. That's cover 6, not cloud. So you see the defensive line, they're flying out of that dime set with all that speed out there. So I'm going to go to quarters here. I'm going to throw some cover 4. Sue is back in the game. You see how his play art has him playing to both, has him going to both sides of the center. That indicates that he's a 2-gap player against the run, and Arakpo almost got there as well, spun off the tackle. And, you know, as I was saying, the one time I play a 3-man defensive line, he converts. But as I was saying, in those 3-man defensive line sets, depending on the alignment, that nose will be a true 2-gap player. And a guy like Sue will do a good job as far as that's concerned. And if you slant and crash the lines this year, it impacts how the defensive line plays against the run as well as the pass. In previous years, they didn't really impact the run game that much. This year they do. And, you know, if you have the studs out there, you'll really see them, you know, slant and stunt as you either slide them left or right, or crash them out, or crash them in. So 7-6 game. I've actually fumbled. I got the ball to open up the half, but I fumbled, so he's in good position here to get some points. Not getting much on the ground, really. Tries a counter, but there's no room there at all. So he's back in 3rd and long. Do I blitz here? Yeah, I bring a blitz. All I do here is I spread the line out and pinch the linebacker in, and there's Darby, comes right through. That's overload 3, show 2. It looks like cover 2 pre-snap, and that's just stock. All I did was spread the line and press RB for the linebacker audible and pinch him inside, and boom, that freed up Darby on the zone blitz. So 14-6. 3-man rush again. Should have been INT'd there. That was cover 6, show 4. Pre-snap, they won't tip their hand. They're in a cover 6 look. It's going to look like a cover 4 with 2 deep shell. But post-snap, it'll jump to cover 6, obviously. He's just throwing short to the flat there. So, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. 3rd and 2. going into the fourth quarter. If he's going to throw, it's almost certainly going to be a quick throw to the flat or a shallow cross slash mesh of some variety. Based on the way he's playing, I doubt he's going to run. So we're going to go cover two, hard flat. We're going to drop a spy, and we're also going to protect the sticks. Damn near gets an INT. Protect the sticks on that, and I'll control the linebacker and look for anything that's leaking out behind it. 4th and 2. I'm going to do the same thing, but it's going to be out of what do I call here? Do I go crossfire? Yeah, I go crossfire, but I audible it down to a hard flat, and again protect the stick, spotlight Evans. I kind of get in his way, and that gives both the corner and the safety time to converge on Evans. Now, what you saw there out of the safety, that case, Earl Thomas, is a classic reason why I've been using them. They just don't close heavy enough. If I didn't have him spotlit, he probably completes that. They really need to tune or increase the closing aggression of the deep zone defenders. But he rage quits out of there, and that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will talk to you all later. Peace.